our day starts off pretty simple. After some milk in bed, as soon as we wake up, we then head to the washroom. We do the toothbrush, the hairbrush, the diaper change, all that kind of stuff. I usually keep him in his jammies till after breakfast because usually we get food on whatever we're wearing at breakfast.
Can you go get their bowls?
Next up, it's time to feed the cats. He loves doing this job. He's been doing it for a few months now, and he's getting better at it.
Yeah, thank you.
Sometimes it's still pretty messy, and we have to practice sweeping. But he's definitely getting better, for sure. It's been fun to watch the progression.
Yeah, now you can bring it to him. Thank you, George.
Next up is breakfast. I have made a bagel with some cream cheese. I just cut his up into a few pieces, and I have the other half and a little bit of strawberry for some fruit to balance it all out.
Yummy, yummy.
While he gets started on his breakfast, I make myself an oatmeal. I get really hungry, especially in the mornings. We're still nursing, so that probably adds to that. But either way, I make this porridge, and 9 times out of 10, I don't get to actually eat it until nap time. But some days I get to eat it sooner than that, as sort of like a second breakfast. It all kind of depends, but it's in there. The one thing that I love about the Instant Pot is that put it on and then it keeps it warm until you're ready to get to it. So I just like to have that sort of on hand for whenever I get a quiet moment and feel like a snack. Then I'll go over and I'll join George at the breakfast table and eat some kind of a breakfast with him, which is really difficult for me, actually. It's hard to sit when I know there's a lot of dishes and things to do. However, I do realize that it's important to sit with him and eat with him. Number one, just because it's nice. It's just nice to have someone to eat breakfast with, even when you're that small.
It's your first day of soccer.
And number two, I think it's important to model how we eat breakfast, what that looks like. So I just always am conscious of what I'm doing to make sure that I'm modeling properly for him.
We're gonna go play ball. Soccer ball.
So today is our first day of soccer. Typically, Montessorians don't tend to go for organized sports because they follow the philosophy of follow the child, and organized sports tend to be a follow the coach, follow the adults, and do what they say type of thing. With that being said, I'm still trying to figure out my own feelings around organized sports. I can see the plus sides, I can see the, not so plus sides.
Wanna do a Velcro?
But I want to expose him to all kinds of different situations and to see how he does taking instructions from others, because I don't think one hard way is the way to go. I think to do a whole bunch of different things and just see how it goes is probably a little more healthy for us anyways. So we're going to see how it goes. We want to at least just make some friends. Our good friend's going to be there, so we'll hang out with them too. And if he doesn't like it, I'm not going to push anything. But figured I'd expose him to the situation and see if he likes it.
Where's your hat? Hat. Here it is. Do you want to put it on? You can put it on. Put your hat on your head. You want me to do it?
Dave's super into soccer too, so of course, something that they can bond over is always nice too. Okay, so we just made it here. It's 8:40, we're 5 minutes early, it's perfect timing. There are lots of parents and toddlers all over the place. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Georgie, are you excited? I just wish Dave was here, but that's okay. He'll be here next week, and yeah, we made it. I'm so excited right now. Well, that was fun. It was chaotic. There's a lot of kids and there was a lot of meltdowns. There's a lot of toddlers. George did great. We had a lot of fun. And then afterwards we went to the park with our friend. Yeah, that was good times. So George and I are I'm going to get a coffee, drive through, and then I think we're gonna stop at a thrift store on the way home because it's still early. It's only 10:30 and we don't have to go to nap until 12:30. So while we're out and about, might as well hit the thrift store and maybe the dollar store. Go home, have lunch, and nap. So that's the plan. Okay, so the lineup at Starbucks was way too long. And if I was by myself, I would have absolutely no problem waiting in that line. But having little one in the back in his car seat, I know that my time was limited. So decided to make the executive decision and forgo the coffee, as sad as that is. So we're just doing a little quick change, and George is enjoying all the buttons and the knobs. It's his favorite. He's getting ready in the front seat of the car. It's really easy to change him here actually because of all these little buttons and knobs. He'll just stand for me. So we're gonna go into the good old VV, maybe hit the dollar store because they're right beside each other. And we're gonna have some fun. Hey! Yeah! Got a little fussy in there, so I made a quick exit as fast as I could. He's now playing with one of the toys that we found in there. Hopefully that lasts us till we get home. I think he's hungry and starting to fade. So no dollar store, which is fine. Got a couple of good finds in there, which I will show you guys at nap time. Made it home, and the first thing we do when we get home is we sit and take off our shoes. He puts his shoes away. Well, I try to get him to put his shoes away, and then we wash our hands. This is quite a process still these days, but it is slowly getting better, and I just want to instill some good habits in him. So to meal times, we really try to follow the division of responsibility. So we choose what's served, when it's served, where it's served, and he chooses what he wants to eat and how much. So I always try to make sure there's something on the plate that he will like. In this case, it's cheese, and then I have some pasta, and I like to have a veggie on there too, normalize the green color, and hopefully he gets a bite or two in this case it's spinach. I survived the morning. He is down for a nap. And now I take a big exhale. It was a wonderful morning, but it got a little bit hairy there when we came in from the morning. He was washing his hands and that was going great, but he's not great with rinsing. He loves actually washing them, but in terms of rinsing them, he's not fantastic at it, and he wanted his cup. So I got him his cup, and then what I usually do is just kind of splash water onto him and try to rinse them for him, but then he didn't want to get down. That was the big issue. So that turned into a bit of a tantrum moment, and it's not that I want to only show the good moments and try to pretend like everything's always perfect, because it's not. It's just that I respect my child and don't want to show him on camera when he's not feeling his best and when he's having a tantrum. I just don't think that that's very respectful. So that happened, but I didn't film it, of course. So anyways, after lunch, we just did a quick diaper change, read a couple of stories, and did our nap routine, and he is down for his nap. So he went down at 12:30, and my hope is that he stays down until, at least 2, but I would be very happy if it was more like 2:30 or 3, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what's going on with naps lately. Before last week, he was napping usually only about an hour 20, hour and a half, but then this past week, he started napping a lot longer, doing 2.5, even a couple of days there was 3-hour naps. So I don't know what that was about. Teething, sickness, more outside time because of summer. So I have no idea what's going on with naps is the conclusion of that, and we we'll just see. So I'm going to, this is always like a very relaxing yet anxiety provoking time. It's like totally mixed emotions because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, now he's down, what can I get done? But then also I'm like, oh, remember to relax because you need a break too. So I'm going to just kind of like reset myself. I'm going to fix my hair because it's like a terrible mess, just to feel a little bit better. I'm going to change my clothes because I was in like my sporty morning clothes and they're just like gross at this point. So I'm just going to throw on a dress to feel a little more comfortable. It's really hot. It's like almost 30 degrees with the humidity. So, although it looks like it's clouding over, it might rain. So I'll bring you out to the garden in a minute after I get changed. And I'm going to also go down to the car and get my stuff that we got at the thrift shop. Clean up while I'm down there as well. And then I'll come back and I'll show you what we picked up. Oh yeah, and it is coffee time. Usually on the balcony I have a couple of things put out, but this year I got really serious about starting some plants from seeds and really investing in my balcony garden. It's been a nice outlet for me to have something that's my own, and I'm really enjoying it. So I check on my plants at nap time and after bedtime. Okay, well, it's getting pretty stormy, pretty windy out here. My tripod actually fell down a couple of times. I'm not going to show you around the garden too much because I think I'm going to save that for another video. We'll do like a balcony garden tour, or like how I set up my balcony garden or something like that. I don't know. Drop me a comment below if you would like to see something like that. But anyways, I'm not going to water them too much because I do think it's going to rain. I mean, look at those clouds. It's looking pretty stormy, so it's making me think like, what's going to be the plan for the rest of the day? I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure that out later. As much as I love the warm, sunny, beautiful weather, I also love the feeling of when a storm is rolling in, especially after like a really hot summer morning in the afternoon. It's just, I don't know, it feels all cozy and gloomy and kind of cool. I'm going to show you again because it's just like, there's a huge storm rolling in and you can just feel it in the air, and I just love that. I love this storm. I think it's probably already raining over that way. That way's the lake, so I'm sure looks like it's coming from that way too. Alright, so I just ran down to my car. I got our stuff from the car, and I'll show you what we picked up at the thrift store. I had to turn on my light because the storm is coming, so I hope the lighting's okay. So to start off with, we picked this up. You guys already saw it in the car probably. It's from IKEA originally, and I've wanted this guy for a long time. We have the Fisher-Price plastic version, so to get the more Montessori-aligned wooden version was something that I've always sort of been on the lookout for, so I was excited to pick this guy up for $4.99. I ended up picking up a couple of books. Two of them are actually going to be birthday presents for one of our little friends, a first birthday present, but her mom watches this YouTube channel, so I don't want to show them just in case she's watching. So I won't show those two, but I also found it's just a cute little book all about sort of biology and your body, and it's got the, you know, realistic pictures for the most part and just like little blurbs. He's definitely too young for this right now, but I think this will be a good little read for when he's older, so I just scooped that guy up. The other two aren't Montessori aligned. For those of you who are new to my channel or new to Montessori, then you'll know, or you won't know, that Montessori tends to follow the more realistic pictures and realistic things in general. So things like characters, talking animals, and things like that aren't exactly the kind of things I typically go for. Neither are cartoons. However, I do make some exceptions. I try to be as Montessori as I can, but the books is where I definitely don't follow Montessori quite as much. I try to, but anyways, I found a Peter Rabbit, the classic tale of Peter Rabbit, and I'm really excited about this one. I've been collecting a couple of the tales of Beatrix Potter, but I don't have the original Peter Rabbit story, and Beatrix Potter actually lived in and wrote most of her stuff in the same town that my Nana, so George's great Nana, lives in England. And Dave and I have actually visited Beatrix Potter's house before, so it's super special to us. So of course I had to pick that guy up when I saw it. And then I also found a second potty book. We have one potty book already that George really loves, but I'm trying to introduce him to as many potty books as I can right now, because we're really starting to try to encourage the potty as much as possible. I'm not pushing him or anything, but I am definitely encouraging. So the more books about potties, the better, because the last one really has done the trick, but it's getting a little old. I got 2 pairs of shoes, but they are in super perfect condition. They look fantastic, and they're adorable little like hiking boots, and they are in the size that he just started wearing. So I'm hoping these will last us the summer and into the fall, and I like the colors, and for $3.99 I couldn't say no to those. This is the other pair of shoes. They're a little bit bigger, probably will fit him next year or so. They just look nice and neutral and not too sporty, so they go with a lot of things. And the last, I got him some Hot Wheels. I am a child of the 90s and had a little brother who was obsessed with Hot Wheels. George at his friend's house, she has a ton of Hot Wheels as well, and he always likes playing with them, so I figured I would grab a bag at good old Valley Village. I dig Hot Wheels, and I'm feeling like they're Montessori aligned, at least because they are realistic looking. Open-ended play, not so much, but I am personally a huge advocate for open-ended play, especially at home, and that's pretty much it. It is now the quiet part of nap time. Dave is calling me, it's perfect timing, so I'll give him a call back and have my coffee, that porridge that I put in this morning, and just kind of take a load off for a quick second and try to figure out what I'm going to do this afternoon, because I don't know about the weather. The nap went well, and it was time to get outside while the rain had stopped and take a little walk around. He loves this pull truck, but actually this was the day that he got his first scraped knee. No pants means more scraped knees. So we went in and we had popsicles. This is the recipe for my homemade frozen popsicles. That's him enjoying one with his Band-Aid. Then after that, we headed into the bedroom. I figured because Dave was away, it would be a good time to set up the train track that I'd been saving for, gosh, probably about a year now. And he enjoyed the idea of it, but actually very soon got frustrated with the whole train track. So I'm not gonna lie, this was a great idea, but I ended up having to put it away. So we'll try again a little later when he's a touch older. So we messed around with that for a little bit. I practiced my gentle and respectful parenting. He practiced getting some big feelings out. It was time to switch it up and to start on supper. So I just put some frozen salmon in the Instant Pot. Love the Instant Pot for this as well. And I just put some asparagus and some quinoa in a steamer. The quinoa was left over, so it just needed to be warmed. And asparagus is one of George's absolute favorites right now, which is adorable because about this time last year in June, he turned 6 months and we started solids. We did baby-led weaning with him, and asparagus is in season this time of year, and he absolutely adored asparagus at this time last year, and now that it's back, he is enjoying it very much again this year, so it's super sweet. I think I even put some leftover potatoes in there too. Steamer's great for that. I just put every leftover in there with some vegetables and it steams and reheats at the same time. Old school, but it does the trick. At this point, George is just playing by his shelf quietly, which is a miracle considering what we just went through with the train. But I guess that's how it is. If you let them get their big feelings out and work through it, then they're able to calm down and refocus. So I just spent this time while dinner was cooking, enjoying him, observing him, and it was a nice end to the day. Nom nom nom. that's pretty much it for the day. After this, we had our regular bedtime routine, which is basically bath, teeth brush, story, and then just get into bed. We're lucky with the sleep training. He is sleeping great these days. And that was the end to a day, just the two of us. There were ups, there were downs, there were all arounds, but I wouldn't trade it for a thing. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.